This exercise on healing from limerence was inspired to me by a client who was struggling with shame and guilt after coming out of a limerent episode. Now, this is a very common experience that some of you might be having where post limerence, when you aren't no longer in that altered state of mind that limerence puts you in, where your perceptions and your mood is fixated on that person, you might realize that some of your behaviors and some of the ways that you viewed the relationship or the LO didn't align with your values. And you could start to feel like some folks might even feel like they're going crazy or that they were crazy and maybe even feel embarrassed. And so this particular exercise are for those of you who are struggling in that post-limerence experience. My name is Adele Kiddo. If you're new to my channel, I'm a licensed psychotherapist and a coach, and I like to talk about intense emotional experiences like limerence, parasocial relationships, AI, and all that jazz. Sometimes the feeling that you have from it afterwards is also a sense of emptiness and loneliness. So hopefully this particular exercise can help get you back on track with feeling more present with yourself and being able to reclaim your life. I created this exercise based on some tools that are actual therapy tools, which is writing a letter. I'm just going to repeat this multiple times just so that you all know this is not meant to be sent. I've often compared to limerence as an addiction, and the 12-step model has this very helpful framework is about making amends, but in a way that doesn't cause further harm. This is where you're taking personal inventory of the ways that you behaved and taking accountability. That's what this letter is about. It's something you write, and again, it's something you do not send. It's just for you. For those of you who are new to journaling or just new to the process of writing for healing, it is a very cathartic process. It's very simple and yet very profound. So if you're new to it, I included in the description a free template to begin writing this letter. It lets you process the emotions and take accountability and reflect on everything that happened from the past, the relationship, the fantasy that you were stuck in, and what it actually meant. Now, this letter has 3 parts. This is not to romanticize the experience of limerence. I know a lot of my videos, I talk about how limerence is a catalyst, how it can fade into melancholy, and all these beautiful things. But I hope that the takeaway is that this source of healing is within you or whatever higher power you believe in. It is not on the LO or whatever you had experienced within that. It just points to those wounds that are being unraveled through this process. And so we're going to go through the 3 parts, and I'm just going to give you some examples of what you could write. Yours might look different based on your experience. Everyone's is different. And I just want to reiterate, do not send it. And please, this isn't a substitute for therapy. This is not meant to diagnose or treat anyone. The first part is the amends. This is about owning your behavior. It's about what you said, what you did, and how you showed up in that fantasy. For example, I want to apologize for painting you as the villain and for making things uncomfortable and confusing. That's just one very general statement. To have the full effect, it is important that you're writing for yourself. You're not writing for anyone's eyes so that you can write freely and you're not filtering yourself whatsoever. The purpose here is to stop carrying around that guilt or shame. And writing this out gives you that chance to face what happened with clarity, but also compassion. Number 2, personal inventory. This is inspired by step 10 in the AA groups. This is where you reflect on what you've learned. especially about your unmet needs as it pertains to limerence. You could also write out those needs directly. That's part of reclaiming your own emotional responsibility. My perception is clear now. I'm no longer living in the fantasy of how you could have met all my needs. I see now that my attraction to you was rooted in my unmet needs, things I believe you could give me or that I could receive through your presence. And throughout this whole process, know you can write as much detail or as little detail as you need, whatever makes you feel as though you are putting it down literally. And the last part is gratitude and affirmations. We end the letter with a sense of gratitude, not to romanticize the experience, but again, to acknowledge what it taught you. It's really, I think, near impossible to move forward without this sense of um, acceptance, surrender, letting go, if you will, if you are trying to heal from any kind of shameful experience. Gratitude helps us release that anger and resentment, especially towards ourselves. I would write something like, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have realized what was missing in me. Thank you for reminding me of the person I want to be and the parts of myself I want to reconnect to. And then affirm what you're choosing to carry moving forward. So I could write something like, that feeling of being alive, inspired, and seen. That didn't come from you, it came from me. And I know how to find that again. Why does this matter furthermore for the ending is because you're not writing to a literal person. You're writing to what they represented. Limerence is not about romantic love. It's about projected identity, projected longing, often tied to an energy that is filled with creativity and potential and a sense of desire. The LO is a symbol, not your soulmate, not your missing piece. And writing this letter will help you release that idea, take back ownership of that part of you, take that ownership of your part in it, and redirect that energy back to yourself. You're no longer chasing that fantasy, you're returning back to yourself. And you can return back to this letter whenever you need to reaffirm what the lessons were. I hope this exercise is helpful. Please write in the comments, share what's been a really important part of your process. And if you are interested in healing one-on-one, I offer coaching. And if you got this far in the video, you can pop in a question in the comments and I might answer it in the Q&A coming up. Thank you guys for watching and supporting. May you have a wonderful day.